Happy New Year and welcome to the WorldFlow Stadium where the Swans are back in action for our third straight Monday game, this time in the league away to Merstham. It's going to be a bit of a weird one today. Obviously Merstham sitting, 20th in the table, the Swans in second, but I think you'd be mistaken for thinking this would be an easy game, George.
Yeah, Merstham in great form at the moment, but Swans hoping to kick off 2023 in great style, hopefully with a win, and hopefully carry on like that for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and the Swans still missing a couple of players suspended from that Carl Scholzen game a couple of weeks back. Palace Francis and Torin Roberts not in the side today, but there is a new name in, a debutant today for the Swans.
Yeah, number 7 today you'll see is Jonathan Gaucher. Let's hope he can put on a good performance on his debut for the Swans. Yeah,
the Swans looking to bounce back from that Boxing Day loss against Leatherheads. Time for today's lineups. Today's Swans lineup: Liam Allen in goal. It's a back four of Harry Mills, Dom Ogan, Joe Pratley-Jones at centre-back today and Joe Hicks. A midfield three of Arsene Oikei, Alex Kelly and John Gilbert in that central number 10 role. Jordan Adiemi is down the left today with debutant Jonathan Gaucher playing on the right, and Eddie Simon leads the line down the middle. On the bench for the Swans, it's Mitchell Goff, Jude Malloy, Malik Morris and Brian Garzon. Neither side really with any clear opportunities thus far. Quite sloppy in terms of possession as well. Neither side being able to retain much. Joe PJ driving forward now, all the way to the byline and
gets a good ball in.
Oh, very good ball indeed. And it's Eddie Simon with the shot, and it's just about blocked. That opportunity came from nothing, really. It was Joe Pratley-Jones driving through the heart of the defence, got to the byline and clipped a brilliant ball in towards the back stick and dropped to Eddie Simon, and he couldn't quite manufacture the finish there, just about blocked. Yeah, I think in those central areas we know how dangerous he is when he's got a lot of room to work with. Ball in by Harry Mills, again towards the back post, floats over everyone's heads, and a foul given for a push by skipper Joe Hicks.
Should these floodlights be on ready or not?
I think there's just about enough sunlight to see us through the first half. Arsene Oikei has a strike and it's just wide of that far post. The keeper was scrambling and he was beaten if that was on target.
Alex Kelly in there again. And John Gilbert can drive. Finds Eddie Simon
on the turn again, just trying to buy that yard of space. John Gilbert. Adiemi, 1-0 Swans. What a huge goal to get. We are just about half an hour through the game. The ball popped to Jordan Adiemi in the box and he made no mistake to stab home. A huge, huge opening goal for the Swans.
Yeah, we had about 5 minutes of sustained sort of build up there, didn't we?
That is the state of play, always unpredictable. John Gilbert clips the ball through, but cut out by the Merstham defence. Alex Kelly finding Dom Ogan.
Really well done.
He's looking to turn, but the ball's well won at the back. Tireless work rate from John Gilbert. Brilliant to win the ball back. Dom Ogan across to Eddie Simon. This could be two. It is. That is a brilliant goal from the Swans, and that is a huge, huge goal to get so close after the first one.
We say it so often, but John Gilbert's work rate.
That work rate, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Bosh. Oh, that is well worked.
Oh, that's a great challenge from Joe PJ, and the second follow-up one from Dom Ogan. There are alarm bells ringing, but
I thought they were just going to get a shot off there because they worked a nice one too.
That was really good defending. Well, Hanworth also 2-0 up at Northwoods. Bedfont 3-0 up at Uxbridge.
Bloody hell, Bedfont. Suppose they did score 3 against us, didn't they?
Yeah.
Chance to swing it in. There's a man over there on this side.
Oh, that's a great strike. That's a phenomenal strike, and from not a lot, Merstham are right back into this game. It was the number 18, wasn't it? Underway again. Swans kicking from left to right this half. Merstham will obviously be feeling a lot more positive after that very, very late equaliser in the first half, and here they are again, and it's a brilliant chance, and that was so nearly 2-2, but the flag is up on the far side. It wouldn't have counted anyway.
Not the start we wanted, is it?
Certainly not the start we wanted, but Merstham out the blocks with their tails up.
Cut us open, huh? He's balling behind. He'll beat Dominic Hogan. He'll beat him.
Oh, it's a penalty.
It's a second yellow for Dom, I think, as well.
Dom could be off here.
It could be a second yellow for Dom.
This has turned to absolute disaster for the Swans. Lewis steps up. Slots it home. From absolutely nothing, really. Merstham are back level. And
I think we can count ourselves lucky we've got 11 men on the pitch still, to be honest.
yeah, this has been a very, very poor start to the half from the Swans. And Jonathan Gyoshe. Nice exchange there. Jordan Adeyemi is goal side here. It's cut out by the
pass from Millsy.
Aaron Good for Merstham, number 2.
Harry Mills will pick that up.
One by Millsy. This could be a chance for the Swans here. Gilbert shoots and well, that could have been 2 goals high, and I don't think he still would have got it on target. Millsy steps up, and it's beautiful, and it's just past that far post. He got the height, he got the dip, but he just couldn't get the accuracy to put it on target. Well, all 11 men behind the ball, as we can see now.
We basically took our only chances in that first half, didn't we? I mean, other than those, we didn't create too much. The Eddie Simon spin and shot, but
those were 2 chances we took, but I think the way that we've defended hasn't been great. Gilbert, Adeyemi, chance to score, and it's a looping deflected shot that hops onto the roof of the net. There's another very good chance for the Swans, but Merstham do well to just about see the danger away. Although I think, if I'm being honest with you, our best goal-scoring threats are on this pitch, and I can't see that changing. Oh, it's a chance for Merstham to take the lead here. And that is a golden, golden opportunity spurned from just inside the box.
Moves inside, Eddie Simon, it's bobbling. Harry Mills driving forwards.
Nice ball across to Jonathan Gyoshe. He seemed a bit reluctant to take his man on at times today.
John Gilbert.
Nice exchange. Jordan Adeyemi, John Gilbert, what a goal! That is absolutely sensational from the Swans. What a bit of interplay, and John Gilbert has us back in the lead. That was phenomenal, Jack.
It's like the goal of the season, I think, Tej. Wow.
The Merstham player down with his head in his hand. The Swans players over in the corner to celebrate. What a brilliant, brilliant goal.
Through the middle. Go on, through.
Another chance here for Merstham.
Get a ball in, or they can drive into the box. It's a good ball in. And once again, Brian Zipo has missed an absolute sitter.
Well, I don't know if it was a sitter, it's just getting away from a stooping header. Couldn't quite get down to it.
Look, if he gets contact on that, that's in. I do wonder who's on 5 bookings. There must surely be a few players coming up to that mark now.
Does that not finish after 19 games?
Oh yeah, it is. It's the 20th, isn't it? Nice ball over the top to Jordan Adeyemi, who can drive the defence here. He's got men in the middle in Eddie Simon and John Gilbert. Adeyemi cuts inside, across to Eddie Simon! Oh. And a great save from Connor Beattie, but the flag goes up on the far side anyway. Ball swung in, it's a good one. And Liam Allen is out well to beat that one away.
Yeah, good punch. Good distance on the punch as well.
That was a fiercely driven in
Come
ball.
back in,
It's clipped back in. Liam is out to get this one, wins again. Merstham are level.
He's caught.
Great bit of strength.
Harry Mills, you've got.
Dom Hogan can't risk making a challenge either.
Come on. There's something here for us. John's free. He's out to John. He's on
John
side.
is away, and he's got Adeyemi in the middle. Eddie Simon's there for the cutback, and Adeyemi's there, and he can't quite get the touch on it. That was a brilliant chance that's gone begging for the Swans. This ball hoisted forward. And that is full time. The first league draw of the season for the Swans, and it's a very disappointing one, having been 2-0 up and cruising heading into the first half break. But a goal from Aziz Sanko right before half-time for the Moatsiders gave them life, and a penalty just after half-time allowed them a route back into the game. John Gilbert thought he might have had the winning goal for the Swans, but the Moatsiders weren't done yet, score an equalising goal. The final score here in Merstham is Merstham 3, Walton and Hersham 3. Here with today's Hagley West man of the match, John Gilbert, following that draw. Now, John, it's the first time you've started, certainly down the middle, in nearly a month and a half. How good was it to be out there and scoring and creating chances and driving at the defence?
I've always said to Scott about me being in a 10 by itself, having two behind me, Arson and Al, who are both brilliant at the forward job where they both play. And I really like getting in the pockets in between a striker and midfield to, like you see, obviously create chances with an assistant goal today. Yeah,
and obviously it wasn't the best pitch to work on, obviously used to the carpet that we have at home in Walton, but how was it out there on what was a pretty choppy pitch, having taken a battering from the rain over the last week or so?
I play all right with these grass pitches. I prefer Astro, obviously everyone does, and the style we play, it was obviously Astro based, but so far with the games we played, it was away, we do play league below in the cup.
Above Carshalton?
No,
Binfield.
Binfield. Yeah, when we played Binfield and when we played here, the two-man matches with sort of these pitches. So I quite like them. Sort of fit into the strategy of how they play.
Yeah, and obviously not the greatest result for the Swans today, but on to Saturday, which is another 6-pointer, a considerable one. And given we won our last 6-pointer against Basingstoke a couple of weeks back, could it potentially be one that we can look to put things right in, do you think?
No, definitely. Obviously, we have today, but I'm a person where I like to focus on the next thing. You know, today's done. Probably a bad trait where I've got to think about the game and what we can do better, but I'm on to the next one now. Marlow at home.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah, so it's a big game. Hopefully, obviously they're third in the league, we're second, so see how that one goes.
Yeah, cheers, John. Today's man of the match,
Perfect.
and see you Saturday.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Here with the manager Scott Harris, following that draw away to Merstham, our first draw of the season, actually, first league draw. Now, proverbially, football is a game of two halves, and I think for the first 45 plus 60 seconds, we were pretty much in control and allowed Merstham a route back into the match, which they took with aplomb and managed to force a big result against us in the end.
Yeah, it felt like a half-time team talk was going to be pretty straightforward. And listen, when you concede a goal in the 45th minute or injury time in the first half, like you say, you shouldn't really shape your whole talk on what's happened in one moment at the end of the half. But it's really quite unavoidable for for the players really, and obviously for the opponents to not have a bit of a reaction from a moment like that, because obviously, like you say, it's given them life where they didn't look like they had a great deal up till then, to be honest. But we felt like we'd sort of took the sting out of the game in the first half and pretty much deservedly had been in front, and then all was looking good at that point. Now, each and every time when we've gone into most games with a lead at half time, you're getting obviously a reaction from the opponent at the start of the second half, especially. We've basically spent the entire time at half time talking about that, what to expect and how to deal with it, and for some reason the guys pretty much did the polar opposite of what we all agreed on in there. That wasn't best pleasing, and then the referee had his little moment where
he was very trigger happy with the cards
well,
today.
Unfortunately, he was somebody that was easily influenced by the noise around him, so it became a shouting contest of who could shout the loudest, and unfortunately, again, it's not really our style. Our players in particular are not really a loud bunch, and we're not really too much into that on the side ourselves, but it actually can work for you at times. Yeah. And the shout that went up when Dom just shepherded the ball into the corner there, all of a sudden he's pointing at the spot. I couldn't really believe what I was seeing. And then there you go, it's game on at 2-2. Thought obviously after that it took another sort of 10 minutes or so to clear our heads, and we put together a real nice goal to go back 3-2 up, and you think, you know, the base that we've still got out there should be enough to see a game home theoretically, with the amount of sort of defensive minded players we had on the pitch. But I looked round after kick-off when it was 3-2, and suddenly they're through on goal again, like literally off
within
the kick-off.
10 seconds,
and it's just, you know, some way we've got to stop these things happening, because it's it's a complete lack of focus, and like I said about half time, a lack of carrying out instruction, which is, it's cost us again today. I mean, and like I say, ended up 3-3, and it was certainly probably an exciting game to watch in the second half, but that's not really what we're looking for.
Yeah, 20 games in now, we've come full circuit and played every single team in the league, so I think it's safe to say we know what every team is about and what we need to do. But I think one thing that certainly a lot of the fans have been unhappy with is defensively now. I think we have one of the worst defensive records in the league, and for a team that's sat up where we are in the table, a lot of fans see that as pretty inexcusable and something that needs to be addressed. Do you think that is something that can potentially be addressed by bringing in a few players, or do you think we can work with what we have there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be standing here most weeks and talking about a straightforward 1-0, 2-0 win, definitely, rather than having to win games 3-2 or 4-3, if it might have been the case today if we'd have got one late on. I mean, as far as the defensive end of things is concerned, we've had a good look through a lot of the goals that we've conceded, especially in the defeats, and there are some themes there. I mean, not the sort of thing I really want to be putting out there on camera, to be honest, but they're things that we can only look to improve on. Working in training, verbally talking to the boys and putting messages across to the leaders in the group especially. But yeah, it's not something that we're unaware of, that's for sure. Got to be better. It's got to be better, because sooner or later, if you're letting goals in, you're not going to win too many games.
Yeah. Now, 1 point from our last 2 games, but not much time to lick our wounds, because a very, very big one ahead on Saturday at home to Marlow. How big is that we get a response and get the result we need this weekend?
Yeah, it is. But to be honest, I think it's been proven now over a period of time. Well, let's just say proven on our sort of end of things, that the league table is almost something I pay no attention to, because we have just as much trouble with the teams down the bottom end as we do with the teams at the top end. So, I'm expecting just as hard a game today as what we'll get on Saturday. I mean, every team in this league are certainly a challenge in their own way, and we're quite aware of Marlow, what they're about, and they've certainly been on a great run. So they'll be full of confidence and expecting to come and test us, just like everybody does. So yeah, we'll be ready. It's just a case of whether we can execute, and perform on the day.
Yeah. The first league draw of the season for the Swans today. Not the greatest way to start 2023, but we will be back on Saturday with a very big one against Marlow. We'll see you guys then.